Good morning. I'd like to start by thanking you for this one more opportunity in a country like Brazil. It's very special to have a seminar like this. It's a very special event, and I hope it's the second in a long-lasting series, and that we can spread this throughout Brazil. I'd like to inform those who don't know that there's so few Austrians here in Brazil, and Professor Fabio Barbieri, who would give the second speech, was not able to come because in Ribeirão Preto, in the city he lives, he went for a stroll on a Sunday, and he was bitten by a snake in the park. He jumped back to escape from the snake and broke his leg. There are rumors that the snake had read two articles before he, one by Paul Krugman and one by Joseph Stiglitz, before he had attacked. I have about 45 minutes to talk about 145 years of Austrian tradition, so I'm going to try to do that. I hope I'm able to successfully do this. I'm going to read and sometimes make some comments. This way we can move along quicker. Applause, applause.
Vocal muito bem feito, diga-se.
Very well done vocal.
Isso foi apenas para anunciar que o título
This is just to let us know that the title is the title of my following book, which will be published soon by the Mises Institute, Action, Time, and Knowledge, which represents our way of seeing the universe in the Austrian School of Economics. I'm going to divide it the following method, the following way, with these items. I'm going to present what I call the Austrian Christmas tree. Starting with the introduction. This tradition, begun by Karl Menger in 1871, is a vast field from the aspect of human knowledge. It extends to a broader field of social sciences and philosophy and humanist culture. It wasn't by accident that Hayek affirmed that economists that only can see within the limits of economic theory, despite how specialized his economic knowledge is, he'll never be a complete economist. It's not enough for him to master the state of the arts of his science, but he has to go beyond. He has to be a humanist. However, even as a broad field, when it comes to human knowledge, the Austrian school is very simple, has a simplicity to it, which can only be explained through the knowledge of its postulates. Mises said, good economics is basic economics. If our economist friends would understand this, the world would be a much better place with no central banks, without Feds, without quantitative easings and things like this. The great Austrian economists of the 20th century were very courageous, because even though they lived during a time when their colleagues became more and more specialized in more restrictive areas of economics, they did not allow this trend to keep them from being generalists, not in the pejorative sense that that word has acquired lately, but in valuing the vast culture and humanism. Unfortunately, economists, since this humanist tradition was abandoned, even though they had more technical knowledge, specific technical knowledge, they became less cultured. And today, it's unfortunate to see that it's very rare to find really erudite economists in the sense of mastering fields that go beyond those in the microeconomics manuals and macroeconomics manuals. Many of them, unfortunately, and we Austrians know this, they treat with disdain the other social sciences, because in their own foggy way, an obtuse way of facing knowledge that they learned ever since their undergraduate studies, these other social sciences are not truly scientific. But the truth is that the infinity of actions that make up the real world are much more complex than those you find in the textbooks. The Austrian school is not intuitive, it's just logical. And it's not restricted to economics. It studies the relationship of economics with epistemology, politics, law, history, sociology, psychology, anthropology, and political philosophy. The typical Homo economicus that all the students of traditional economics are introduced to in the beginning of their studies throughout the world, this man does not exist. He's a figment of our imagination. He's a ghost. He's not really connected to reality. This doesn't mean that the conventional theory should be thrown away or that the Homo economicus should be dismissed. It just means that humanist aspects of the economics can't be set aside as if they weren't important or if they weren't truly scientific. Actually, humanism in economics is much older than Menger. He looks back as far as St. Thomas of Aquinas and the scholastic school and continues with David Hume and Adam Smith. It was only thrown out in the 20th century with the advance of positivist ideas, both on a day-to-day basis and in science. What mattered became not, what matters is not the Homo economicus, but the Homo agens. The synoptic framework that we're going to look at is an attempt to understand this complexity of the Austrian school. Obviously, this is going to be a simplistic essay to some extent, but we're going to try to show the different parts, the different roles, and how they fit together in the playing board. We're going to look at them one at a time. We have a nucleus or a triad, basic triad. It's complementary. It's made up of three different elements: action, human action, dynamic time, and the limits, the hypothesis about the limits of our knowledge. These are fundamental and are transmitted through their the ways that they're propagated through the different ideas of human knowledge. I'm going to look at the effects on epistemology and some others. This is the cornerstone of the Austrian school. From them is the basis for all the logical deductions and theoretical proposals. The first element is the idea of action. Action, as everyone knows, is any voluntary act, any choice made deliberately in order to go from a state of lesser satisfaction to a state considered of greater satisfaction at the time of the choice. Praxeology is the general science that is dedicated to the study of human action. and considers all its formal implications.
Ora, todos os atos econômicos,
Very well.
sem exceção, podem ser
All
reduzidos
the
a escolhas
economic
realizadas
acts
de
can
acordo
be
com o
reduced
conceito seminal de ação humana.
to the basic
E a
concept of human
proposição
action.
básica,
And the
o
basic
primeiro axioma da
proposition,
praxeologia,
the first axiom of
é que o
praxeology,
incentivo para
is that the
qualquer
incentive
ação é
for
a
any action
insatisfação,
is insatisfaction.
uma vez que ninguém age,
Since no one will
a não
act
ser que sinta alguma
unless he feels some sort of
e avalie
dissatisfaction
que uma determinada ação
and
venha a
determines
melhorar o
that a
seu
particular
estado de
action
satisfação, ou
will
seja,
improve
aumentar
his
o
state
seu
of
conforto,
satisfaction, or in other words, increase his
a sua
comfort,
sensação de
his
alegria,
feelings
de
of happiness,
realização,
or
e, logicamente, diminuindo o seu desconforto,
and reduce
frustração
his
ou
frustration,
insatisfação.
discomfort, or lack of
Este
satisfaction.
axioma é universal.
This axiom is universal.
Onde quer que existam pessoas agindo,
Wherever there are people acting,
existe ação assim definida.
there is action thus
Por
defined.
exemplo, podem ser dois
For example,
PhDs, comprando e outro vendendo.
You have two PhDs, one selling, one
O
buying.
professor Zanotti, por exemplo.
For example, Dr. Miller and Dr. Zanotti.
O que estiver comprando vai querer.
The one who is selling wants to charge more. The one who's buying wants to pay less.
Semi-analfabetos.
You can have two semi-illiterate people.
Inácio.
Professor Inácio and
vai sempre querer pagar menos.
someone else. Whoever sells
sempre vai querer cobrar mais. Pronto, ponto final.
always will want to charge more. Someone who buys wants to pay less. This is the basics.
Monumental. Esse axioma é universal, né?
This axiom
A
is
ciência
universal.
econômica construída
Economic
com base
science,
na praxeologia,
based on
é
praxeology,
o corolário universal.
is by its
Não há teorias
is the universal
econômicas
corollary.
específicas
There's
ou
no
particulares para cada
economic
país,
theories
cada região.
specific for different regions or countries.
O que existe é uma teoria econômica
What we have here is a
epistemologicamente correta,
epistemologically correct
que é
economic
aquela que
theory
se monta peça por peça
that's
a
put
partir
together
da
piece by
observação e
piece
do
based on
estudo
observation
sistemático
and systematic
da
study
ação.
of action.
O Mises denominou
Mises
esse conceito de ação humana
called
de
the concept
axioma
human action
praxeológico número
the
porque a partir
number
dele
one
se deduzem os
praxeological
principais
axiom,
leis comportamentais.
because you can
que regem
deduct the
a
main
economia.
behavioral laws that
O segundo
direct the
elemento é
economy.
o tempo,
The second element is time,
especialmente a concepção dinâmica
especially
do
the
tempo,
dynamic
ou tempo
concept of time, or
subjetivo,
subjective time, or
real,
maybe real
em
time,
que o tempo deixa de ser
and
uma
that
categoria
time
estática
is not a
que possa
static
ser
category
descrita por
that can
simples
be
eixo
described by a
horizontal
horizontal
para
axis,
ser definido como fazem, por
It goes-
exemplo, professores
and it can be defined
Rizzo, fluxo
as
permanente
a permanent
de novas
flow
experiências.
of new experiences.
Esse fluxo não está
This
no
flow
tempo,
is not
ou seja,
in
no eixo
time,
newtoniano do
On the
tempo. Ele
Newtonian
é,
axis,
por definição,
it is, by definition, time itself.
quando consideramos esse conceito de tempo dinâmico,
When we think of dynamic time,
implicitamente aceitamos
we can
o
implicitly
fato de que alguma
accept the
coisa
fact
de
that
nova
something
sempre
new
está acontecendo
is always happening,
e assumindo as suas três características.
and taking on the three characteristics.
Quais são as três
What are these
características?
three characteristics of dynamic time?
É a continuidade dinâmica,
Dynamic
a
continuity,
heterogeneidade e a eficácia
heterogeneity,
causal.
and causal
Então, o tempo
effectiveness.
Por si mesmo,
So therefore, time is
processo
a
ou
process or a
procedimento
procedure
permanente de descoberta.
that's of permanent discovery, as
Por
Hayek
exemplo, Hayek. O tempo
said.
dinâmico ou real é
Dynamic real
Sua
time is
passagem
irreversible,
acarreta
and its
uma
passing
evolução criativa,
leads to
ou
a
seja,
creative
implica
evolution. In other
alterações
words, it means that there are unpredictable alterations.
O conceito de tempo real
The
é
concept of
fundamental
real
para
time
que
is
se possa
fundamental,
entender,
that we can
para que se possa entender
understand
a natureza
the
da
nature
ação
of human
humana.
action.
Agindo,
Acting,
os
individuals
acumulam
accumulate
continuamente
new
novas
experiences
experiências.
continually.
Isso vai gerando
This
novos
creates new
conhecimentos,
experience,
por sua
new
vez, isso
knowledge,
leva a mudarem
which
frequentemente seus
leads
planos
to a
e
change,
ações.
frequent change in plans and actions.